All right, welcome back to the show, everybody. Hope you all are having a good day so far. So I had a really nice and kind, generous super thanks given to me to check out this video here and react to it. This one is from Basketball Universe, and this is titled Debunking Larry Bird's Biggest Criticism. Now, I'm going to link the original video down below in the description like I always do. And yeah, I hope you guys check out Basketball Universe. I've been reacting to his channel, pretty much since the beginning. And it's been a good run. He's got a great channel. And I love how he's not just like covering Michael Jordan or LeBron James. Like, he'll throw in guys like this, and it's much appreciated because, you know, not enough people talk about Larry Bird these days. And I know there's a small group of you who watched my Larry Bird reactions, and you guys always like kind of celebrate the idea of, you know, more Bird content, and I love that. I really do. I wish more people enjoyed the Bird stuff, but it is what it is. And I mean, man, I mean, if I'm to list like a top 3 favorite players of all time, he's right there. And I'm not talking like the all time. I'm saying like my favorite players of all time. He's right there, man. Right. You know, it's Jordan and then it's Bird, I think, to just be completely honest. All right, guys. Anyways, let's get to this video. Like I said, it's linked down below in the description. You'll also see a list of channel members down there. Shout out channel members. I had a couple of requests to lower my intro music down. So hopefully you're hearing my voice better and the music isn't drowning out my voice. Let me know in the comments, please. And like the vid, hype the vid, all that good stuff. Without further ado, let's go.
For all the people who claim that Larry Bird was great because he played with so many legendary players, they have never heard of this. What would happen if this supposed super team lost its best player? That question was answered in the 1988/89 season.
Interesting. I was kind of having a debate with my father about this on Thanksgiving, I think it was. We were comparing Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, and you know, he was insisting. He was like, dude, the Lakers were so much better than the Celtics, but Bird was that good. You know, he was just that damn good. And you know, we were listing players on each team, and he kind of brought up a good point, because it kind of reminds me of how we glorify the Chicago Bulls because they won so much. But like, you know, if they didn't win, how great really were those guys on that team? You know, how great was a Horace Grant or a Bill Cartwright or a BJ Armstrong? You know what I'm saying? So can that same logic be applied to the Celtics in this era? Maybe. And I don't like to say it because Kevin McHale's my guy. DJ is awesome. Like, these guys are... The only one I can say is like Parrish, a little iffy.
He only played 6 games. With the untrained eye, this is a throwaway season. In reality,
the
this
haircut
explains
season
perfectly what made Larry Bird so iconic. Even while sitting on the sidelines, he was building his case as one of the greatest players of all time. But first, we must understand at what level he was playing in the prior year. He had the finest offensive season of his career. He averaged 29.9 points on 53% shooting.
Beautiful.
9.3 rebounds.
Great.
6.1 assists.
That's a thing I'm going to be bringing up every time I'm talking about Bird. He does not get enough credit for his rebounding.
And 1.6 steals per game. That was his career high in points and field goal percentage. On top of that, he averaged 41% from the 3 and 92% from the free throw. He reached the 50-40-90 club, which is reserved for the most elite shooters. What makes that accomplishment even more impressive is that he currently has the second highest points per game average from any player with those shooting numbers. The only player who did better was Steph Curry in his legendary 2016 season. He accomplished all of this in his 9th season. For most players, this is where they start declining, but he was somehow getting better. Thanks to his extraordinary play, the Celtics finished with the second best record in the NBA. They won 57 games. They were first in offensive rating, field goal percentage, 3-point field goal percentage, simple rating system, and net rating. They also finished third in points per game. This is the value that Larry brought to this team. In the playoffs, he continued to elevate his play. Everyone remembers when he battled Dominique Wilkins in Game 7 of the semifinals. In the fourth quarter, he scored 20 points on 90% shooting.
It's 90% shooting in the fourth. Oh, and some of you guys still give me crap when I say ball, down by 2, season on the line. Who am I giving the ball to? I'm giving it to Bird. I'm sorry, Michael Jordan. I'm sorry. There's only one other guy in this world I'd give the ball over instead of you. If Bird ain't available, it's going to you, MJ. I'm sorry.
Reached the conference finals and eventually lost to the Pistons in 6 games. Although Celtics fans were growing accustomed to
I'll do a rebuttal. If I need 2 to win, I'm going to MJ. If I need 3 to win, I'm going to Bird. There, I said it.
Watching their team reach the finals year after year, it wasn't a bad way to end their season. As we transition to the 1988/89 season, one significant change was in store for this team. K.C. Jones retired as head coach. He played an important role in Boston, winning the 1984 and 1986 titles. The good news is that Jimmy Rogers was going to take the job. He was the assistant coach since Bird was a rookie in 1980. He knew this team very well. There was no reason to believe that the Celtics wouldn't continue being one of the top title contenders. It's true, this championship core was aging.
Yeah.
Sure, they had to battle through injuries, but they still found themselves 2 victories away from reaching the finals. They were just too good. That was a general consensus after they played the Knicks in the season opener. Robert Parrish had a 20-20 game. Kevin McHale had 25 points on 52% shooting, and Larry Bird picked up where he left off. He had 29 points on 52% shooting. They beat the Knicks in an overtime thriller. But after this victory, something seemed off. They lost 4 straight games. It was the worst start that this team had ever had. The worst part is that Larry Bird was not playing like himself.
Ooh.
Against the Milwaukee Bucks, he played only 22 minutes and scored 12 points on 32% shooting. He was playing through a sore Achilles tendon, and his body was a ticking time bomb. In the following game against the Miami Heat, his body...
So he's dealing with back issues and a torn Achilles tendon this season?
He officially broke down. In the second quarter, he went on a fast break and scored an easy layup. That was when everything exploded. He came out of the game and never came back that season. 4 days after that game, he had bone spurs removed from the back of both heels. This was a cause of playing through a bad back for all those years.
Oh, so it was still sourced from the back. Dude, when I see him do this kind of stuff, it just, dang. He's crazy, man. Whoa!
Those years. He even had to alter his running style, and the pain radiated down to his feet. He explained in that season just how bad the injury was.
The spurs were covering 40% of my heel, and they went and took them out. So they were a little bit bigger than we anticipated.
They were rubbing on the Achilles tendon.
Yeah, they were sitting behind the Achilles, and my left one broke off. It was just laying in there inside the tendon, but my right one was hooked on, and it was causing more problems because I was getting inflammation down there and it was swelling up and was just putting pressure on the Achilles.
After successful surgery, it was believed that he would be out for at least 3 months.
Yeah.
But we all know there was no way he would return that quickly.
Bird is just like, he's an old school dude, man. Tough as nails. You never hear him complain about all the physical pain he's in, by the way, and he still is.
He was going to need a full year to recover, and that's exactly what happened. The question is, how would this team respond? This is the moment that the Larry Bird detractors have been waiting for.
Interesting.
If he truly relied on his teammates to win all those championships, then the Celtics should continue their winning ways. After all, the rest of his star teammates were healthy that season.
So I was a kid during this time still, and all I can tell you from my own memories was when Bird got the shorter haircut, like if you're seeing in 80, this is 88, I believe. That's when I, as a kid, I identified this as the era of his decline, like his physical decline. But I didn't know all the details here.
McHale missed 4 games. Parrish missed 2 games. Dennis Johnson missed 10 games. And Reggie Lewis missed 1 game. Again, this is the same core that won 57 games the previous year. They went from that to having a 42-40 record. They went from having the second best record in the league to the 15th best. They went from being the number 1 offense in the NBA to a team that finished 8th in offensive rating and 10th in points per game. The numbers say that they were just an average team and they barely made the playoffs. They didn't clinch the 8th seed until the final game of the season. What were the problems with the Celtics? The first one said they were terrible on the road. They only won 10 games, and they didn't beat a single team that had a winning record. The next problem said they couldn't win games that went down to the wire.
Yeah,
People
they need a closer.
forget that the Celtics benefited so much from having one of the game's greatest closers. Without having that luxury, 9 of their defeats came by a margin of 5 points or less.
I mean, I'm actually surprised they made the 8 seed without Bird, because Bird he was just completely vital to their system.
Then we have how their offense looked without one of the greatest passers and shooters
look at
ever.
that.
Their offense ran through McHale and Parrish. They walked the ball down the court, threw it in the post, and went from there. Without the creative passing abilities of Bird, their offense was much more predictable, and therefore easier to defend against. This team was searching desperately for solutions. They even decided to trade Danny Ainge in the middle of the season for some young talent. They received Ed Pinckney and Joe Klein from the Sacramento Kings.
Joe Klein, yeah.
But they weren't going to solve the Larry Bird problem. In the playoffs, the Celtics looked lost. The Detroit Pistons held them to under 100 points throughout the entire series. The Pistons swept the Celtics.
Oh yeah, championship
This
Pistons.
was life without Larry Bird. A forgettable regular season that ended with a first-round sweep. Is there any more proof needed of how valuable he was for Boston? If you still aren't convinced, let's check out what happened in the following season. Larry was back, but it was obvious that his best days were behind him. Check out the difference between the 1988 and the 1990 season. This was not the same player. We're talking about someone who was always criticized for his lack of athleticism, but that was even more noticeable from this point forward. He had no athletic advantage over any player who was guarding him. But
he was stiff. By this point, he was completely stiff all the time. The fluency he had in his body movement was unfortunately gone.
It didn't mean anything. He was still more than capable of dominating anyone.
I mean, IQ-wise, he was still the smartest guy on the basketball court at all times. But yeah, body-wise, it was hard to watch a little bit because you could tell he was really struggling. I went through the same thing when I was watching Steve Nash in his final seasons. Every time he'd check out of the game, he's laying down flat on the hardwood for his back, and you could just tell this is a serious thing. Like, they're fighting through some serious, constant pain in order to play the game of basketball.
In just his 5th game back from a year-long absence, he had 50 points on 76% shooting, 13 rebounds, and 7 assists against the Atlanta Hawks.
Money.
He had an additional 6 40-point games. That includes his performance against the Seattle Supersonics. He gave them 40 points on 63% shooting, 11 rebounds, and 10 assists. That was only one of the 10 triple-doubles he had that season. This is what Boston was missing. Let me remind you that they made no major additions in the offseason. This was essentially the same team with the same head coach.
Crazy, man.
And they won 52 games.
Yeah. That's the Bird impact. I mean, this is his team.
Larry Bird added 10 victories. They were once again one of the top teams in the league, and their offense was clicking. This is what they were able to accomplish against the New York Knicks in the first round. In Game 2, they scored 157 points. They still hold the record for the most points scored in a playoff game.
That's crazy. Was that all just regulation too? No overtime?
Get to appreciate the greatness of Bird even more.
No way, right?
Everything that he accomplished from his rookie season to 1988 was nothing short of spectacular. You aren't going to find many players who had a better 9-year run. He won 3 straight regular season MVPs and 2 finals MVPs. He won 3 titles. The Celtics failed to reach the conference finals once out of those 9 years, and they reached the finals 5 times. For those unfamiliar with the history of the game, they point to the quality of his teammates as the primary reason why he was so successful during that run. There is no question that he played with some all-time great players. No one is denying that. But we saw exactly what the consequences were if you took him away. This was not the same team. If you saw him...
You know what I would love to do to end the little debate, the friendly debate I had with my father? Would be, I mean, it's impossible, but if we could take the 80, I don't know, let's say 87 Celtics and remove Bird, and same thing with the Lakers, take the 87 Lakers and just remove Magic, and just let them play a game and see who wins. I think that would be a very interesting way to kind of settle that. Like, who had more help, Magic or Bird?
Play, you know exactly why they struggle so much without him. For those who don't, I will allow one of the players...
And I'm willing to say it again. Magic did have more help. He did. At that point, he still had Kareem, and he had James Worthy that can take the charge.
Played against him to explain what made him so great. This is what Jim Peterson, former player of the Houston Rockets, said about Bird to the Washington Post. Quote, "I've never seen anyone who could demoralize a whole team like he can. It's like he doesn't need teammates. It's just him, 1-on-5, and he almost beats you single-handed. It's the way he does it. He gets you down and then breaks your back."
That rebound.
End of quote. I'm telling you, he didn't need great teammates to impact the game. He could make any team look like a championship contender. The way he viewed the game was unlike anything we've ever seen. When he was at his peak offensively, the Celtics won 57 games. When he came back and wasn't the same player, they still won over 50 games. He was just different. He simply knew how to win games, and he could do it in so many different ways. It took him being sidelined for an entire season for the basketball world to truly appreciate how legendary of a player he was. But what about you all? What do you remember the most about those seasons? What was the biggest reason why the Celtics struggled so much in 1989? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, really cool video. I didn't know all the details behind everything going on there, and I didn't know he missed basically an entire season like that. Yeah, I mean, the answer you end the video with is, I think it's obvious. I mean, it's, what's the difference? Bird, the Bird factor. It's not that Bird is just like their star player. He's not just their lead scorer. He's not just their lead facilitator. He's not just like the mindset of the entire team. He's the leader. You know, he's the on the floor general. And a lot of people would argue who's really coaching that team, you know, because like if coach calls the play for somebody else, and you know, in the closing moments of a clutch time game, Bird's gonna get the damn ball no matter what is designed, and you know, his teammates are going to follow in Bird's lead. That's just the kind of guy he was, man. So he was the entire team the way I saw it. And I mean, it makes sense why they pretty much blew up the team once Bird had retired, because at that point, like, yeah, it's time to move forward, because he was the entire identity of that Boston Celtics. And hell, it's like the Celtics really didn't find a new identity until, you know, the Paul Pierce era. And that was a slow burn in the beginning as well. That took a long time to develop until they got you know, KG and Ray Allen over there. But Bird, man, like I said, he's one of my favorites. He was never like, he wasn't talking about money as far as like why he came back and he stayed in the league for a couple years after this point. He was always thinking about the Celtics. Like, he said he would have retired early because of his back pain if there was somebody else who could actually take the baton from him, you know, to take the torch from him. He was actively looking for somebody to do it, but it just didn't happen. And let's be real, the Celtics had two tragic, great draft picks during this time. And unfortunately, both of them passed away tragically. So both of the times Bird thought, and he did talk about it, both of the times Bird thought, okay, there's my replacement. I can retire now. Something tragic happened. So Bird didn't want to let down the people of Boston, and he kept playing as long as he could until he just absolutely couldn't. And we saw, you know, the last bit in the Olympics, and he was able to check in for a couple minutes at a time just to play for us fans. And I'm really thankful he did, man. Dream Team wouldn't have been the same without him. Anyways, I'm rambling. I love Larry Bird. We'll always love Larry Bird. Larry Bird's freaking great, guys. I am out of here, and I hope you guys enjoyed. like the vid on the way out if you could. Hit that subscribe button if you want more content like this. And nerds, nerd alert. Something really cool coming tonight. Y'all suggested I do more of this, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm just gonna not say anything else. It's gonna be a surprise, but I am totally looking forward to this. I had to wait the last two days, like intentionally not watching this video because you guys said you want me to react to it with you guys, so we're gonna do it. We're going to do it live, and I'll see you in the after dark. All right, everybody? See you all in the comments. Thanks for watching, and be water, my friends.